Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you're holding up fine. I know the lockdown sucks and I know that COVID-19 is, wreaking havoc all over planet Earth, but we will overcome. I am here to bring a little joy in your day and to give you a little something to dream towards. When the world reopens, then you'll have something to consider doing, yeah? Thank you very much for watching and for coming to my channel. If you are a first-time visitor, I hope that you'll stay, you'll watch, you'll like, you'll subscribe, you'll click the notification bell, you'll leave a comment, yes? If you're a repeat watcher, you already subscribed, you're team notification, I love you. Thank you so much. Today we're going to speak about something that I'm a kind of sorta an expert on, yeah? It is me and I'm it. She is me and I am her. Kenya. Hands down, one of the most beautiful places under the sun. I say that with a lot of confidence. We have a lot going on for us. And I know that for a lot of people, especially who want to have an authentic safari experience, really want to experience a beautiful part of Africa, Kenya is probably a place they want to visit. And today, this is not one of those blah 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 thing trying to explain away ignorance and trying to educate you on things that Google and YouTube can. Today I'm going to give you legitimate advice that is useful for anyone who'll be traveling through Kenya, wants to visit, wants to tour. This is for you. These are very important tips, I think, for a lot of tourists, for a lot of people who want to settle, to work, to just come and hang out with us and mingle in our space. I think the one point, the most important one, I think the best place to begin is diet. The first thing I want to talk about is diet. Kenyan food is not something that you would maybe put up on the list of the best cuisines in the world. It is food for sustenance. It is good, it is very healthy, it is tasty, I think. But I just want, in terms of diet, to talk to people who might be sensitive towards maybe non-vegetarian food or vegans. Or, if you really don't know what the food is about, I'm sure you can find that online. But what online won't mention is that the whole notion of being vegan or being non-vegetarian with boundaries or without is not something that most Kenyans are very conscious about. We don't think about that food that way. We do not eat as a recreational activity, and as a result, we don't have a lot of authentically Kenyan snacks that you can just, we have street food, but even street food is filling. It could be a meal for some people, and we generally eat to get energy, to be strong, to be healthy. So if you come, keep that in mind, and if you are a vegan, or you are non-vegetarian, do mention it up front. And if you're non-vegetarian, do mention the bounds of your non-vegetarianism. I know non-vegetarians who eat eggs and other animal products and just don't eat the meat. I know vegetarians who, have some things that they will have a soup, a chicken soup, but will not eat the chicken flesh. I know it's weird, but yeah, there's so many variations. Be very clear. If you say, I do not eat meat, also mention that you do not eat fish. Some people don't perceive fish to be meat. I know it doesn't make sense to somebody who, who's anchored in the world of non-vegetarianism, but just do mention that. Be very clear about that when you're traveling through. We have default vegans and default vegetarians. These are just people who can't afford to be vegetarian or non-vegetarian. So they just are, by default, they are vegans or vegetarians. So we do have food that can satisfy your palate. You just need to let us know up front. Yes? And then the second thing I wanted to talk about is safety. A lot of places in the world will view most African countries and maybe the developing world as unsafe. I think it's unfair because this is something that can happen to anybody anywhere. Being in a place that is not safe. I know some places are safer than others, but Kenya is safe. There are unsafe places. and there are dangerous people, and I feel the same about any country I've ever been to, that anything can happen to anyone anywhere. So when you come, keep in mind that we are very friendly, welcoming people. We are not as dangerous as we may have been reported to be. And when you come, just try and use common sense. Just put yourself in safe places. Listen to your tour guide, or to whoever is advising you about how your movement. Listen to them, but at the same time, don't come with so much fear, because then you don't enjoy anything, thinking everybody is about to rob you blind, kill you, do all these horrible things. It might happen. That's just how life works out, but it is a safe place. And you want to just stay in places where you have been advised to stay in. I'm Kenyan, and even I know there's some places that I either go ready, to protect myself, or I'm just supposed to be extremely aware. It happens. I think the same when I visit anywhere else. So when you come, keep in mind it is a very safe country, but there are unsafe places. There are places, especially if you're not black, that you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb. So just make sure that when you are in those places, that you're either very aware of what is going on, dress sensibly, don't carry all your money and valuables and all that. Just common sensically keep safe, like you would anywhere else that you may be touring. Yeah. And then the third thing I would like to talk about is photography. It is a gorgeous country. All those plains and all those grasslands and all those forests and lakes and beaches. There's a lot to photograph, and I have noticed that people will take pictures of others without asking. You'll get in trouble. Kenyans generally do not like for their pictures to be taken without their consent. Ask before you take a picture of someone, a group of people, or someone's property. So if you're walking and there's a language barrier and you feel like, oh, maybe you're in some village, you meet these guys, or you see they're doing something really beautiful or interesting, you want to record it or you want to take a picture, the gestures, I think, for the most part, are very global. If you just say, a smile disarms even the most unfriendly people. So you just say, point at your camera. That is, I think, for the most part, anybody in the world will understand. You're saying that, hi, can I take a picture of you? Is that okay? And this, if they say okay, if they say no, back up, leave. I find that a lot of tourists can be quite disrespectful, and they think we don't understand photography and how it works. We have found ourselves on websites, in news channels, in aid campaigns, with our pictures that have been used without anybody ever thinking to ask us. So we are very aware, very conscious of that. Ask before you take pictures of people. And then the fourth thing is, when you visit, try the hardest you can not to impose your ideologies of how life works. This annoys most Kenyans. It's very irritating. It is condescending for you to walk in our country and just kind of think that your way of life is better than our way of life. There's a friendly way of suggesting things. There's a friendly way of saying, oh, this is how you chop your veggies. Let me show you some other different way. Let's see, let's compare and see. There's a way of suggesting something. As opposed to walking into the country, we already are aware of how a lot of people think that we are inferior in some ways. So you're walking in a place that is already conscious of that. So for you to walk in and then be like, you're cooking on that, you're eating like that, you're using your hands and not a fork and a knife, you shouldn't be carrying your child like that, you shouldn't. You traveled all the way from wherever you came from to Kenya to enjoy Kenyans and their way of living. And we do appreciate helpful suggestions every now and then, but I believe what you want to do is observe, enjoy, and note that we have a different way of living that may not necessarily be the way you subscribe to life, and that should be fine. Yes? So I think that must be said, because you may think you're fixing and helping, but really you're coming off as condescending and judgmental and unfriendly, and we feel like you think our ways are inferior to yours. So that is something that you might want to note. And then 5, there's this phenomenal thing in Kenya called mobile banking. When you land in Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, walk to a counter saying Airtel or Safaricom and buy yourself a SIM card. Getting a SIM card in Kenya is very easy. All you have to do is give your passport, they'll put your details down, they'll give you a SIM card. When you buy that SIM card, at that same counter, just ask for whatever foreign currency that you've come in with to be converted into Kenyan shillings and loaded onto your SIM card. I know mobile banking is not foreign to the rest of the world, but Kenya is the biggest mobile banker in the world. Harvard School of Business comes to Kenya to study and understand why, of all the places in the world, it has rooted so deeply in Kenya. So mobile banking is fast, it's convenient, it's going to save you a lot of trouble when you travel, especially into interior areas where your dollar and your pound is just paper and nobody's going to have any appreciation for it, or where you will not find a forex exchange to exchange your money. So just load your SIM card app. Mobile banking will be your best friend. It is so quick. Everyone has it. So even if you're buying just a tiny little trinket on the side of the street from, kids, and they just want 10 shillings for it, you have it. The transaction is very affordable and very efficient. And again, it's a way of keeping your money safe. Yeah, no one is like, even if somebody stole your phone, which I hope it doesn't happen, but you want to stay in those safe areas that we spoke about in point number 2, they can't take your money. You can just buy another SIM card and it will already, you can have your number reinstated, and it will already have the money that you put on it. So please mobile bank. It's going to make your trip very, very easy, much more convenient. And then the 6th thing that I want to talk about is connected to number 5, which is commerce and trade. Whenever you're traveling through Kenya, try and buy from the smaller traders as much as the bigger traders. And I know that, because sometimes, because of those safety restrictions, you can only go to these swanky hotels and, galleries and trade centers, and you don't get to experience it every day. But if you came to, go to the Masai Mara, to go to Zavo, to go to, Mount Kenya, to go to Mombasa, you're gonna meet a lot of different natives, and every tribe has its own speciality. So if you went to a certain tribe and they're making these beautiful neck pieces like this one, or little bracelets, or little hair accessories, or whatever fabrics, different things that you want to buy, I would advise that buy directly from the makers. That way you are supporting the trade system in such a useful place, in such a fundamentally practical way to just kind of help everybody make something off of tourism. And also try not to haggle so much. I know that when you're a foreigner visiting a country, most of the time pay maybe 2, 5, 10 times higher a price than the locals would. And you want to haggle down because it's sometimes just for fun, and you just feel better that your price was knocked down by, 100 or 200 shillings. Do that, but don't push it too much. So say, for example, I bought this and maybe I paid $10 for it. If you come and you are, especially if you're, non-African, or you don't of a different race, you probably get charged a little more. So maybe instead of $10, they'll say, "Oh, give me $50," and you are like, "But my friend said it's $10 and this and that." You can bring it to 25, but don't push so hard, because honestly, the dollar doesn't mean in Kenya what it means in the developed world. You know very well that you wouldn't get this maybe in your country for less than 50 pounds, or less than $100 or less than 150 Canadian dollars, or whichever currency that your country uses. And then if you convert it in your head, you know that $50 or $100 is still making sense, and it's still a lot cheaper than you would have bought it in your own country. And $10 can stretch so far in Africa and in Kenya. So when you give somebody that $10 or $20, it may not create a big dent in your wallet, but it's going to add so much quality to this person who's selling it to you. So haggle, but don't haggle too much. It is just, I think, a very decent touristy thing to do, to get a fair price and not necessarily, as low as, the locals, because the locals probably can't truly afford to pay what you're paying. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying that some people really struggle to pay those, that $5, that $10, it means very little to you. So just do that. And then number 7 is dressing. We range from people who dress, you can only see their eyes, like even minus the lashes. They're like, that's all you get of them. Everything else is all covered up, very modest, very conservative. But we range from that to people roaming around naked in the plains. Like, it happens that if you go to the Pokot tribe, they barely, they wear these little beads around their private area, but they just are naked for the rest of their bodies. So kind of try and find out where you're visiting if you're going to some of the most conservative places. And I know we will forgive and excuse, and especially if you're used to seeing tourists, and we'll be like, oh, she's wearing her little booty shorts and a tank top, and that's fine. And we won't say anything, but we'll, in a way, the people there feel uncomfortable, and the people there might not appreciate it. And just making an effort to kind of be respectful of the way people have their culture and their traditions set up is quite nice to do. So you can wear anything in Kenya. It just depends on where you are. So, I've seen tourists in Malindi walk around in bikinis, sometimes thong bikinis, and then they'll just be kind of chilling, and everybody's like, hey, there goes the, most of them are Italians, so there goes the Italians, and then, but in the same coast province, or in the same area, you will not people will not be amused. You're not covered up, cover your arms, cover your legs and things like that. So just be mindful about your dressing and be sensible. Don't wear flashy things everywhere and then start complaining, somebody took my red bottom heels. What you doing with your red bottom heels in downtown Nairobi? It's on you. I'm just saying that be mindful that you dress comfortably. A lot of walking in Kenya, a lot of we are movers, so try and make sure that you pack up a lot of comfortable things. I don't think you're coming to Kenya for the high life, where you'll need to wear all your Gucci's and Pradas. I think you're coming for the safaris and the beaches and the fabulous people and the big five and that kind of thing. So just be sensible about your dressing. And then the 8th thing is just understand that Kenya has 44 tribes and many religions, and we might some tribes don't get along at all. So don't go in a tribe that doesn't get along with another tribe and start saying, like, understanding that dynamic. You don't have to do like a whole lot of research or whatever. You can just ask your tour guide, what is an inappropriate thing to do or say in this particular tribe, or what do they mark as respectful or disrespectful, and just understand that all those 44 tribes, they move slightly differently, and some of them don't get along, and so just having a slight understanding of that is very important. But also understanding religion in Kenya. Religion is not something that we take to heart as much. Like, we are religious, I think, but we do not discriminate each other along religious lines. We get along. Like, this is one of the things that I'm quite proud of about Kenya. You can do, practice whatever religion you practice, as long as it's not very scary. But I think we'll understand and accommodate you. We just, when you come, it doesn't matter what religion you are, we're gonna love and welcome you anyway. So if you're traveling and you're from a certain religion, don't think it's gonna make any difference to us. religions, any religion under the sun, we are open to. And then the ninth thing is about slum tourism. Um, it's an odd thing to go and tour a slum, but I understand the fascination. If I went to Joburg, I think I want to drop down to Soweto and see how they live, because it's just famous. If I went to India, I would want to go to Dharavi slums and see the biggest slum in Asia, meaning the world, and the fame that they have about having the biggest production of certain, commodities that are used in high-end, high-end stores in the developed world. Or if I went to, I think Brazil, I would want to visit the favelas. Or, so I understand the fascination with visiting slums, but I find it quite demeaning how some tourists, oh my God, I talk about the most stupid things. Forgive that. But it does, I hate it when people are inconsiderate. I hate it when people don't think of other people's feelings, and especially people who are in a position of disadvantage. Whenever you visit a slum area, be conscious of those people and their humanity and their, they want to be treated decently. So, and I understand you can get anything done for a small amount of money, because most of people dwelling there are quite poor. And so, oh, do this or show me that or whatever, and they'll do it because they want to make the money. But knowing not to ask for people to do demeaning things just so you can have a good laugh or take pictures and then expose them to the rest of the world is very indecent. You're welcome to tour Kibera and any other slums in Kenya, but I just would advise that you maintain a certain sense of humanity. And I think some people don't even think about it. They're just like, hey, look, oh, child playing in the sea, I'm going to take a picture of that and show it to the rest of the world. Without this child's consent, without, it is unfair. I've seen people make money off of such images, and these are the images responsible for us getting the reputations that we do. Oh, people only want to show the sad Africa, or most people just want to show the poor Africa, or the struggling, the unsafe Africa. And if you could just go show everybody all those gorgeous animals and the blue watered, white sanded beaches, and the beautiful grasslands and the mountains and the hills and the traditions and cultural practices, that would be as beautiful as. So I think when you visit the slum areas, you want to be mindful, you want to be respectful, you want to be conscious that these are people going on about their daily lives, and your intrusion is not only uncomfortable to them, it shouldn't be happening. But we now live in a world where we want to see how other human beings see in their own little given or imposed cages. It's like a little zoo. So we all have our own prisons, and taking pictures of people like that, again, based on the photography part, also ask for their consent and be mindful and respectful. Yeah. And then the last point is about stereotypes and assumptions. I refuse to address all the people who think I have lions roaming in my backyard. I refuse to address people who ask me why and how I speak English. I refuse to address the people who think that we have never been to school and we are non-educated, illiterate people. I refuse to address people who assume all of us are, Kipchoge Keino and Paul Korir, and we are all just, runners. We are not all athletes, and I refuse to address people who think Africans live on trees and are just poor, and all of us are just, I don't know. All these assumptions that people make are really annoying. It doesn't take a lot of time to do a little research. Have your information grounded in some truth, and when you come, just be a little more like, please don't be so ignorant just because you're a tourist. and go around asking me if I know, oh, do you know this particular person? I'm like, oh, where do they come from? You're like, Zambia. I'm like, this is Kenya. Why would you think I know someone from Zambia? But so just cut down on your own ignorance. Do a little research. That is a show of respect. I think in many ways we research your world when we visit. Kenyans do that, and we study hard about other people so that when we walk into their space, we not only know how they operate, but we are able to respect the differences and similarities that exist between us. So these are the top 10 most useful tips I can give anybody who intends to come and visit the gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous Kenya. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. And thank you very much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and check out my other videos on traveling and and just places around the world. Yeah, thank you. Kwaheri. Bye.